Admiral Jake Morrison sat in his chair on the bridge of the hidden space station. The station was built inside a large asteroid, far from any planet that aliens knew about. For 20 years, Jake had been waiting for this day. He hoped it would never come, but he was ready. The communication screen lit up with an urgent message. Commander Lisa Hayes walked over to Jake's chair. Her face was serious and worried. "Admiral, we just got a message from the Galactic Council. You need to see this right away." Jake pressed a button, and the alien message began to play. The screen showed a tall, blue-skinned creature with 4 arms and glowing red eyes. This was Admiral Zixthan, the leader of the Zephyrian Empire. His voice was cold and full of hate. "Humans of Earth and all human colonies," the alien said. "I am Admiral Zixthan, speaking for the Galactic Council. Your species has grown too large and too bold. You have taken worlds that belong to superior races. This ends now." The alien moved closer to the camera. "You have exactly 72 hours to surrender all human colonies. You will give up your weapons and submit to our rule. If you refuse, we will destroy every human world and kill every human in the galaxy. This is your only warning." The message ended, and the screen went dark. Lisa looked at Jake with worry in her eyes. "Admiral, our scouts report over 10,000 alien warships moving toward human space. They have us surrounded." Jake stood up and walked to the large window that looked out into space. He could see the blue and white planet of New Haven below them. Families lived down there. Children played in parks. People worked and loved and dreamed of the future. The aliens wanted to take all of that away. "Get me Dr. Alex Carter," Jake said. "Tell him to come to the bridge right now and send a message to all our hidden bases. Use code BLACK. It's time to wake up the fleet." Dr. Alex Carter arrived on the bridge 10 minutes later. He was a thin man with gray hair and tired eyes. For the past 15 years, Alex had been working on the most secret project in human history. Only a few people knew what he had been building. "Alex," Jake said, "they finally did it. The aliens have given us an ultimatum. How ready are we?" Alex smiled for the first time in months. "Admiral, we have been ready for 5 years. Project Nightfall is complete. We have over 8,000 ships hidden in bases across the galaxy. The aliens have no idea what we built." Lisa looked confused. 8,000 ships? But our official fleet only has 300 vessels. Where did all these ships come from? Alex pulled out a small device and pressed a button. A hologram appeared, in the air, showing a map of the galaxy. Red dots marked human colonies that the aliens knew about. Green dots showed hidden human bases that the aliens had never found. "For 20 years we have been building ships in secret," Alex explained. "We found empty star systems far from alien space. We built huge shipyards in asteroids and on dead planets. Every ship we made was hidden from alien sensors." Jake nodded. "We learned from every alien ship we could find. When they attacked other worlds, we watched. We studied their weapons and their shields. We found their weak points." "But Admiral," Lisa said, "the aliens have technology that is hundreds of years ahead of ours. How can we fight them?" Alex laughed. "That's what they think. But we didn't just copy their technology, we made it better. Humans think differently than aliens. We found ways to use their own science against them." "Captain," Ryan Bell's voice came over the communication system. "Admiral Morrison, this is Captain Bell on the UHS Discovery. We just finished scanning the alien fleet. They are using the same formation they used when they destroyed the Centauri Republic last year. They think this will be easy." Jake pressed the communication button. "Good work, Ryan. What about their shield technology?" "Same as always, sir. They rely on energy barriers that can stop most weapons, but our new quantum disruption cannons should go right through them. The aliens have never seen anything like what we built." Lisa was starting to understand. "You mean we've been pretending to be weak? All this time we could have fought back?" "Not just pretending," Jake said. "We were weak 20 years ago. But while the aliens got comfortable and lazy, we worked, day and night. We prepared for this exact moment." Alex brought up another hologram. This one showed a massive ship, bigger than anything in the official human fleet. This is the UHS Sovereign, our new command ship. It has armor that can survive a direct hit from alien planet killer weapons. It has guns that can destroy an entire alien fleet. How many people know about this? Lisa asked. Only the people who needed to know, Jake replied. About 50,000 humans across the galaxy have been working on this project. Everyone else thinks we only have our small defense fleet. Captain Bell's voice came over the speakers again. Admiral, we're detecting movement in the alien fleet. They're getting ready to attack human colonies. What are your orders? Jake looked out the window again. Down on New Haven, people were probably scared. They were watching the news and wondering if they would live to see tomorrow. They had no idea that help was coming. Ryan, send a message to all colony governors. Tell them to begin evacuation procedures but move slowly. We want the aliens to think we're panicking. How long until our hidden fleet can reach the battle zones? Alex checked his device. All ships can be in position within 6 hours, Admiral. The aliens won't expect us to move that fast. Lisa shook her head in amazement. I can't believe we kept this secret for so long. What if the aliens had found out? Then we would have moved the timeline up, Jake said. But they're too proud to think that humans could outsmart them. They see us as primitive animals who got lucky enough to find space travel. Jake sat back down in his chair and looked at his officers. Ladies and gentlemen, in 72 hours the galaxy is going to learn something new about humanity. We don't start fights, but we always finish them. Alex put away his device. Admiral, should I send the activation codes to all fleet commanders? Jake nodded. Send the codes. Wake up every ship, every crew, every weapon we built. The aliens wanted a war. Now they're going to get one. As the bridge crew worked to prepare for battle, Jake thought about all the species the aliens had destroyed over the centuries. Today, those lost civilizations would finally get their revenge. The aliens had made one critical mistake. They had threatened humanity's children. Captain Nina Foster stood on the bridge of the UHS Vengeance, watching her crew prepare for battle. The ship was huge, 3 times bigger than any vessel in the official human fleet. For the past 5 years, Nina had been training her crew in secret, waiting for this moment. All stations report ready, Captain, said Lieutenant Ben Parker from his position at the weapons control. Ben had spent years learning how to use the new quantum disruption cannons. These weapons could punch through alien shields like they were made of paper. Engineering reports all systems green, called Chief Engineer Kate Sullivan from the back of the bridge. Kate had helped design the ship's new engines. They were faster and more powerful than anything the aliens had ever seen. Nina looked at the main screen, which showed empty space, but she knew that in a few hours this area would be full of alien warships. The enemy was coming to destroy human colonies, but they were going to get a surprise instead. Across the galaxy, other human ships were waking up from their long sleep. In hidden bases built inside asteroids and dead planets, thousands of vessels were powering up their engines for the first time in years. Colonel Troy Adams sat in the cockpit of his fighter ship, checking his weapons one more time. He was the leader of Wraith Squadron, the most secret unit in the human military. His ships were invisible to alien sensors, using technology that humans had invented while studying captured alien equipment. Wraith 2, are you ready? Troy asked, over his radio. Ready as always, Colonel, replied Major Sam Torres, his wingman and best friend. I can't wait to see the look on those aliens' faces when we show up. Sam laughed as he thought about the alien intelligence reports. The enemy thought humans only knew how to build simple weapons that fired metal bullets. They had no idea that humans had spent 20 years learning how to bend energy and matter in ways that alien science said was impossible. Meanwhile, on the alien command ship, Admiral Zixthon was feeling very confident. He stood in front of a huge screen that showed all the alien fleets moving toward human space. Over 10,000 warships were ready to attack. War Prime Korthak, Zixthon said to the massive 4-armed alien standing next to him. You're Karathi. Warriors are eager for battle, I assume. Korthak growled and showed his sharp teeth. My ships will crush the human colonies first. These weak mammals will beg for mercy before we finish them. Behind them, the Vex Collective's representative remained silent. The Vex were a species that shared one mind across millions of bodies. They spoke through a pale, thin creature with large black eyes. The collective agrees. Human resistance will be minimal. Our analysis shows they have only a few hundred primitive vessels. Zixthan nodded. Exactly. This will be over in hours, not days. The humans have no real military. They rely on luck and hiding behind asteroids. What the aliens didn't know was that intelligence officer Claire Morgan was listening to every word they said. For 15 years, Claire had been running spy networks inside alien governments. She had people in every major alien fleet and government building. Claire sat in a dark room on a secret human base, listening to alien communications through hidden devices her spies had planted. She smiled as she heard the aliens bragging about their easy victory. Admiral Morrison, Claire said into her communicator, the aliens are moving exactly as we predicted. They're splitting their forces to attack 5 human colonies at the same time. They think this will cause us to panic and surrender. Jake's voice came back through the speaker. Perfect. Are our ships in position? All fleets report ready, Admiral. The aliens have no idea we're here. Back on the UHS Vengeance, Nina received new orders from command. All ships? This is Admiral Morrison. Operation Thunderstrike is now active. You know what to do. Nina turned to her crew. You heard the Admiral. This is what we've been training for. Ben, are the quantum cannons ready? All weapons charged and ready, Captain. The aliens won't know what hit them. Kate spoke up from engineering. Captain, our cloaking device is working perfectly. The alien sensors can't see us even though we're only a few thousand kilometers away from their fleet. On his fighter, Troy was leading his squadron toward the alien formation. His ships were completely invisible, flying right through the middle of the enemy fleet without being detected. Wraith Squadron, remember the plan? Troy said to his pilots. We wait until the big ships start fighting, then we hit their command. Vessels, take out their leaders and the rest will fall apart. The aliens had spent centuries conquering other species using the same tactics. They would arrive with overwhelming force, demand surrender, and then destroy anyone who refused. It had worked every time because no other species had been ready for them. But humans were different. While other species had tried to fight the aliens directly, humans had chosen to hide and learn. They studied every alien battle, copied every piece of alien technology, and found ways to make it better. Dr. Alex Carter watched the battle preparations from the command center. He was proud of what humans had accomplished, but also sad that it had come to this. Admiral, our ships are reporting that alien morale is very high. They really think this will be easy. Good, Jake replied. Overconfidence has destroyed more armies than any weapon. How long until they reach the first human colony? 18 hours, sir. The aliens are taking their time because they don't think we can fight back. War Prime Korthak stood on his command ship, watching the human colonies getting closer on his screen. He had fought in hundreds of battles and conquered dozens of worlds. This would be his easiest victory yet. Communications officer, Korthak growled. Send a message to the human colonies. Tell them they have 1 hour to surrender before we begin bombing their cities. What Korthak didn't know was that the human colonies his sensors were detecting were mostly empty. The real civilians had been secretly moved to hidden bases months ago. The colonies were now full of holographic projectors and automated systems designed to make the aliens think they were attacking real targets. Admiral Zixthan was also feeling pleased with himself. In a few hours, the human problem would be solved. Forever. The galaxy would see what happened to species that refused to bow to the Galactic Council. Prepare the planet killer weapons, Zixthan ordered. We'll destroy one human world completely to show the others what happens when they resist. But as the alien fleets moved closer to their targets, they had no idea that thousands of human ships were watching them from the darkness. Ships with weapons the aliens had never imagined. Ships crewed by humans who had spent years planning for this exact moment. The aliens thought they were hunting helpless prey. Soon, they would learn that they had walked into a trap that had been 20 years in the making. The 72-hour deadline had passed. Admiral Zixthan stood on his command bridge watching the human colonies on his main screen. He felt excited and proud. In a few minutes, he would begin the destruction of the human race. All fleets begin the attack, Zixthan commanded. Show these primitive humans what happens when they refuse to surrender to their superiors. Across human space, 10,000 alien warships began moving toward their targets. Their weapons were charging up, ready to destroy cities and kill millions of innocent people. The aliens expected no real resistance. They thought this would be a simple extermination. But suddenly, something impossible happened. Space itself seemed to come alive around the alien fleets. Massive energy signatures appeared on every alien sensor at the same time. Ships began materializing out of nowhere, as if they had been hiding in invisible bubbles. Captain Nathan Cross stood on the bridge of the UHS Defiant, watching the alien fleet through his main screen. For the past 6 hours, his ship had been sitting invisible just a few kilometers away from the enemy. Now it was time to drop the cloaking device. All stations, this is Captain Cross. Take us off stealth mode. Show these aliens what a real human warship looks like. The UHS Defiant appeared on alien sensors, like a metal mountain rising from the ocean. It was twice as big as the largest alien ship, covered in armor that gleamed like silver, and bristling with weapons the aliens had never seen before. Weapons Officer Chen, target their command ship, Nathan ordered. Amy Chen smiled as she aimed the ship's main plasma cannon. For years, she had been waiting to test these weapons on real alien targets. Target locked, Captain, firing main gun. The plasma cannon fired a beam of pure energy that tore through space like lightning. The beam hit the alien cruiser's shields, which were supposed to be impenetrable. Instead, the energy went right through the shields, as if they weren't there, and cut the alien ship in half. On the alien command bridge, War Prime Korthak watched his screen in shock and terror. What is happening? Where did these ships come from? All around the alien fleet, human vessels were appearing out of nowhere. There were hundreds of them, then thousands. Ships that looked nothing like the small human patrol boats the aliens had seen before. These were massive battleships and carriers, sleek destroyers and heavy cruisers. Admiral Zixthan felt his confidence disappear like smoke. This is impossible. Our intelligence said the humans only had a few hundred primitive ships. Sir, his communications officer said with a shaking voice, we're detecting over 8,000 human vessels. They're surrounding all our fleets at the same time. Zixthan couldn't believe what he was hearing. 8,000? That's impossible. Where have they been hiding all these ships? The answer came from Admiral Jake Morrison himself. The human leader's face appeared on every alien communication screen in the galaxy. His voice was calm and cold. Attention, alien fleets. This is Admiral Morrison of the Human Space Navy. You came here to destroy our worlds and kill our people. You made a mistake. You thought we were weak because we didn't fight back before. You were wrong. Jake's image was replaced by a tactical display showing the true size of the human fleet. The aliens saw hundreds of bases they had never detected, thousands of ships they didn't know existed, and weapons technology that was far beyond what they thought humans possessed. For 20 years we have been watching you, Jake continued. We studied every battle you fought. We learned from every species you destroyed. We prepared for this day while you grew lazy and overconfident. Lieutenant Grace Murphy sat at her electronic warfare station on the UHS Sovereign, jamming alien communications across multiple star systems. The aliens were trying to coordinate their forces, but Grace's team was blocking every frequency they tried to use. Admiral, Grace reported, alien fleet commanders can't talk to each other. They're trying to retreat, but they don't know where to go. Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched the psychological impact of the surprise attack from her position in the intelligence center. Her screen showed alien communications filled with panic and confusion. Species that had conquered the galaxy for centuries were experiencing terror for the first time. Admiral Morrison, the aliens are in complete shock, Elena reported. Their commanders are screaming at each other. Some ships are trying to surrender already. On his fighter, Colonel Troy Adams led Wraith Squadron through the middle of the alien formation. The enemy ships were so confused that they didn't even notice the invisible human fighters flying between them. Wraith Squadron, pick your targets, Troy commanded. Take out their command ships first. Without leadership, they'll fall apart completely. Major Sam Torres locked onto an alien battleship that was trying to reorganize the enemy fleet. Wraith 2 engaging enemy commander, firing quantum torpedoes. The torpedoes hit the alien ship's bridge and exploded inside the vessel's hull. The massive battleship lost power and began drifting helplessly through space. Its crew had never seen weapons that could phase through solid matter. War Prime Korthak tried desperately to rally his forces. The proud Karathi warrior had never retreated from any battle, but he had never faced anything like this. Human ships were tearing through his fleet like it was made of paper. All Karathi vessels, form defensive positions, Korthak shouted into his communicator. But most of his ships couldn't hear him because Grace Murphy's team was jamming their signals. Captain Nina Foster brought the UHS Vengeance alongside a group of alien cruisers that were trying to escape. Her quantum disruption cannons charged up with a sound like thunder. "Ben, show them what human engineering can do," Nina ordered. Lieutenant Ben Parker fired all weapons at once. The quantum beams hit 6 alien ships simultaneously, overloading their power systems and leaving them dead in space. The aliens had never seen anything that could destroy multiple targets with a single shot. "Captain, we're receiving surrender signals from 12 alien vessels," reported the communications officer. "Tell them to shut down their weapons and prepare to be boarded," Nina replied. "Any ship that tries to run gets destroyed." Admiral Zixthon watched his mighty fleet being torn apart by weapons he didn't understand. Ships that had conquered hundreds of worlds were being destroyed or disabled in minutes. The humans weren't just winning, they were completely overwhelming the alien forces. "Sir, we've lost 60% of our fleet," his tactical officer reported. "The humans have weapons that ignore our shields. Our armor can't stop their cannons. We've never seen anything like this." Zixthon realized that everything the Galactic Council believed about humans was wrong. These weren't primitive animals who had gotten lucky. These were highly advanced warriors who had been planning this battle for decades. The Vex Collective's representative began transmitting frantically to its homeworld. The shared consciousness that had never known fear was experiencing terror for the first time in its existence. "The human ships use technology beyond our understanding," the Vex creature reported. "They have been deceiving us for years. We must retreat immediately or face total destruction." But retreat was becoming impossible. Human ships had surrounded every alien fleet in the galaxy. The aliens who had come to hunt humans were now trapped like animals in cages they couldn't see. Captain Derek Stone's communications team began broadcasting messages showing the complete destruction of alien forces. The transmissions went to every alien world, showing their mighty fleets being defeated by the primitive humans they had come to destroy. "This is what happens when you threaten our children," the message said. "This is what happens when you mistake our patience for weakness." Admiral Zixthon stood on his damaged bridge, staring at the tactical display in horror. Half of his fleet was destroyed or disabled. The other half was surrounded by human ships that seemed to appear from nowhere. His communications were jammed. His weapons were useless against human shields, and his proud warriors were sending him messages asking for permission to surrender. "Sir," his tactical officer said with a trembling voice, "the humans are hailing us. They want to talk." Zixthon had never been in this position before. In 300 years of military service, he had always been the one demanding surrender from his enemies. Now he was the one trapped and helpless. "Put them through," he said quietly. The main screen showed Captain Derek Stone standing on the bridge of the UHS Retribution. Behind him, Zixthon could see human officers working calmly at their stations, as if destroying the galaxy's most powerful fleet was just another day at work. "Admiral Zixthon," Derek said in a calm voice, "my name is Captain Stone. I have orders from Admiral Morrison to offer you one chance to surrender. You have 60 seconds to decide." Zixthon felt his 4 arms shaking with rage and fear. "You cannot do this. The Galactic Council has ruled this galaxy for 1,000 years. We are the superior species." Derek looked at him with cold eyes. "Your 60 seconds started when I began talking. You now have 45 seconds left." Around Zixthon's flagship, 12 human battleships moved into attack positions. Their weapons were already charged and ready to fire. The alien admiral could see that his shields were useless against human technology. "This is impossible," Zixthon whispered. "How did you build all these ships without us knowing?" 20 seconds, Derek replied. Zixthon looked around his bridge. His officers were staring at him, waiting for orders. But what orders could he give? His weapons couldn't hurt the human ships. His engines were damaged. His communications were jammed. He was completely helpless. Zixthon began, then stopped. The words felt like poison in his mouth. I surrender. Derek nodded. Smart choice. Shut down all your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Any ship that tries to run will be destroyed. Across the galaxy, similar scenes were playing out as alien commanders faced the same impossible choice. The species that had ruled through fear and superior technology were experiencing helplessness for the first time. War Prime Korthak stood on his command ship, watching human fighters destroy his escort vessels one by one. The mighty Karathi warrior had never felt fear before, but now terror filled his heart like ice water. Chief Pilot Lucas Wright led his squadron of stealth bombers toward Korthak's flagship. The alien ship was massive and heavily armored, but Lucas knew exactly where to hit it. Phoenix Squadron, target the engine cores, Lucas commanded. Let's show this alien what human precision looks like. The stealth bombers appeared right next to Korthak's ship, their weapons already firing. Quantum torpedoes phased through the hull and exploded inside the engine rooms. The massive alien battleship shuddered and began losing power. Impossible, Korthak roared. My ship has the strongest armor in the galaxy. How did your weapons get through? Lucas's voice came over the communication system. Your armor is strong against alien weapons, but we don't use alien weapons. We use human weapons. There's a difference. Korthak's ship was now drifting helplessly through space. His engines were dead. His weapons were offline, and human ships surrounded him on all sides. The proud warrior who had never known defeat was completely beaten. War Prime Korthak, came a voice from the human ships. This is Commander Rachel Green. You have 1 minute to surrender, or we will destroy your ship with all hands. Korthak looked around his bridge. His warriors were staring at him with shock and confusion. They had followed him into 100 battles, and he had never failed them before. My warriors, Korthak said slowly. We came here to hunt prey, but we found predators instead. The humans have beaten us fairly in battle. His communications officer looked confused. Sir, are you ordering surrender? The words felt like knives in Korthak's throat. In Karathi culture, surrender meant shame worse than death. But looking at his defeated fleet, he realized that pride would not bring his warriors home alive. Yes, he said finally. Send the surrender signal. The battle is over. Meanwhile, the Vex Collective was experiencing something their shared consciousness had never felt before. Panic. The collective's representative aboard their command ship was transmitting desperate messages to the home world. Ambassador Chloe Martinez received these transmissions with professional calm. She had spent years studying alien psychology, and she knew exactly how to respond to their desperation. Vex Collective, Chloe said in a steady voice, your ships are surrounded and outgunned. Your technology cannot compete with human weapons. You have one choice. Surrender now, or be destroyed. The Vex creature's large black eyes showed fear for the first time in its species' history. The collective offers diplomatic solutions. We can negotiate territory divisions. We can share resources. Please do not destroy us. Chloe shook her head. The time for negotiation was before you threatened to exterminate our species. Now you will accept our terms or face the consequences. Back on the UHS Sovereign, Admiral Jake Morrison watched reports coming in from across the galaxy. Every alien fleet was either destroyed, disabled, or surrendering. The species that had ruled the galaxy through fear were now begging for their lives. Intelligence Officer Claire Morgan approached Jake with a tablet full of intercepted alien communications. Admiral, we're receiving surrender requests from over 3,000 alien ships. The rest of their fleet is either destroyed or too damaged to fight. Jake nodded slowly. He felt no joy in this victory, only satisfaction that humanity was finally safe. What about their homeworlds? Panic, sir. The alien governments are receiving reports that their entire military has been defeated by a species they thought was primitive. Some are requesting immediate peace talks. Dr. Elena Rodriguez looked up from her psychological analysis station. Admiral, the impact on alien morale is complete. These species have never experienced defeat before. They built their entire culture around being superior to everyone else. Now they're learning what it feels like to be helpless. Jake thought about all the species the aliens had destroyed over the centuries. The Centauri Republic, the Altair, Federation, the Vegan Alliance. Billions of innocent people killed by alien arrogance and cruelty. Send a message to all alien commanders, Jake ordered. Tell them that humanity is now the dominant military power in this galaxy. They will follow our rules, or they will face the same fate as their fleets. Captain Nina Foster stood on the bridge of the UHS Vengeance, watching alien ships dropping their shields and shutting down their weapons. Her crew was cheering and celebrating, but Nina remained focused on the task ahead. Ben, keep our weapons charged, she told her weapons officer. Some of these aliens might try to run when they think we're not looking. Lieutenant Ben Parker nodded. All weapons ready, Captain. If any alien ship so much as twitches wrong, we'll turn it into space. Dust, the battle was over, but the real work was just beginning. Humanity had revealed its true strength to the galaxy, and now they had to decide what to do with their new position as the most powerful species in known space. The aliens who had come to destroy humanity were now prisoners, their mighty fleets, reduced to scrap metal and surrender signals. The hunters had become the hunted, and the galaxy would never be the same. 3 days after the battle, Admiral Jake Morrison stood in the Great Assembly Hall of the former Galactic Council headquarters. The massive building had once been the center of alien power in the galaxy. Now it belonged to humanity. The hall was filled with alien leaders who had traveled from across the galaxy to hear humanity's terms. Admiral Zixthan sat in the front row, his blue skin pale with shame. War Prime Korthak kept his forearms folded, trying to maintain some dignity. Despite his defeat, the Vex Collective's representative sat motionless, its shared consciousness still trying to understand what had happened. Jake walked to the center of the hall and looked out at the assembled aliens. These beings had once considered themselves the masters of the galaxy. Now they waited nervously to learn their fate from the species they had tried to exterminate. Leaders of the former Galactic Council, Jake began, his voice echoing through the silent hall. You came to our worlds 3 days ago with an ultimatum. You demanded that humanity surrender or face destruction. Today, I stand here to give you our response. The aliens shifted uncomfortably in their seats. They had expected the humans to be cruel and vengeful, just as they had been when they conquered other species. For the past 20 years, you believed that humanity was weak and primitive, Jake continued. You thought we were lucky animals who had stumbled into space travel. You were wrong. Agent Paula Jenkins stepped forward from the shadows behind. Jake. She had been one of humanity's most important spies, infiltrating alien governments for over 15 years. We have been watching you, Paula said to the shocked aliens. We had agents in your governments, your military, your research facilities. We knew about every fleet movement, every weapon test, every plan you made. Admiral Zixthan felt sick. That's impossible. Our security was perfect. No primitive species could have penetrated our defenses. Paula smiled coldly. We're not primitive, Admiral. We never were. We just let you think we were while we learned everything about you. Jake resumed speaking. We studied every battle you fought. Every species you destroyed taught us something new about your tactics and your weaknesses. While you grew comfortable and lazy, we prepared for this day. War Prime Korthak spoke up, his voice filled with confusion. But your technology, where did it come from? Our scientists said human science was centuries behind ours. Dr. Alex Carter stepped out from behind Jake. Your scientists were looking at the technology we let you see. While you watched our patrol boats and mining ships, we were building a secret fleet with weapons your science said was impossible. Impossible how? Asked the Vex representative. Alex smiled. You aliens all think the same way. You follow rules and traditions that have worked for thousands of years. But humans think differently. We break rules. We try things that shouldn't work. Sometimes we fail, but sometimes we discover something amazing. Jake nodded. We didn't just copy your technology, we improved it. We found ways to make energy pass through solid matter. We learned to bend space and time in ways your physics textbook said was impossible. We became better at using your own science than you were. The hall was completely silent as the aliens absorbed this information. They were beginning to understand that humanity's victory wasn't luck or accident. It was the result of careful planning and superior innovation. Now we come to the matter of your future, Jake said. The Galactic Council is dissolved as of today. There will be a new order in this galaxy, with humanity as the dominant species. Admiral Zixton stood up angrily. You cannot do this. We have been the rulers of this galaxy for 1,000 years. Captain Victor Lane, who had been standing guard at the door, stepped forward. Admiral Zixton, you are speaking to the leader of the species that just destroyed your entire military in less than 4 hours. I suggest you sit down and listen. Zixton looked around the room and saw human soldiers at every entrance. He realized that he was completely at their mercy and slowly sat back down. Jake continued. Each of your species will sign protection treaties with humanity. You will follow our laws and accept our guidance. In return, we will defend you from external threats and help you rebuild your damaged fleets. War Prime Korthak looked confused. You're not going to enslave us? Kill us? Take our worlds? No, Jake replied. Humans don't conquer for the sake of conquest. We fight only when threatened. You are no longer a threat, so we have no reason to destroy you. Commander Ashley Brooks stepped forward with a set of documents. These are the terms of the new galactic order. You will have local self-government, but all military decisions must be approved by human command. Any species that breaks these terms will face the same fate as your fleets. The Vex representative spoke up. What about our right to expand, to claim new territories? Gone, Ashley replied. The age of alien expansion is over. You will develop the worlds you already have under human supervision. Any attempt to build secret weapons or armies will result in immediate occupation. Jake walked closer to the alien leaders. You need to understand something important. For 20 years, we watched you destroy innocent species across the galaxy. The Centauri Republic, the Altair Federation, the Vegan Alliance, and dozens of others. Billions of people died because of your cruelty and arrogance. The aliens looked uncomfortable. They had never thought about their victims as real people. Those civilizations are gone forever, Jake continued. But their sacrifice taught us something valuable. It showed us what happens when good people fail, to prepare for evil. We will never let that happen again. Captain Derek Stone entered the hall with a report. Admiral, our monitoring stations are now active throughout the galaxy. Any unusual military activity will be detected immediately. Jake nodded. Thank you, Captain. As you can see, leaders, we are not just superior in battle. We are superior in intelligence gathering, technology development, and strategic planning. This is your new reality. Admiral Zixithan finally spoke, his voice quiet and defeated. What do you want from us? Peace, Jake replied simply. We want you to stop killing each other and start building something better. Humans will help you develop trade, science, and culture, but the age of galactic warfare is over. Ambassador Chloe Martinez stepped forward with translation devices. You will each sign these treaties in your native languages. Any leader who refuses will be removed from power and replaced with someone more reasonable. One by one, the alien leaders signed the documents that ended their dominance of the galaxy. Some signed with dignity, others with obvious reluctance, but all of them signed. As the last signature was completed, Jake looked out at the assembled aliens. This meeting is over. You may return to your worlds and begin implementing these new policies. Human administrators will arrive within the week to help with the transition. The aliens filed out of the hall slowly, their heads down in defeat. They had entered as the masters of the galaxy and were leaving as subjects of the species they had tried to destroy. After they were gone, Jake's officers gathered around him. Dr. Elena Rodriguez looked at her psychological reports. Admiral, the impact on alien society will be profound. These species have never had to live under someone else's rules. They'll learn, Jake replied. Humans are patient teachers. Captain Nina Foster smiled. Admiral, what about our hidden fleets? Do we reveal everything now? Jake shook his head. No. We'll show them enough to keep them honest, but the bulk of our strength stays secret. The galaxy thinks we have 8,000 ships. They don't need to know we actually have 20,000. Commander Lisa Hayes looked out the great windows at the space around the station. Human ships patrolled where alien fleets had once ruled. Sir, do you think they'll try to rebel eventually? Jake considered the question carefully. Some will try, but they'll fail. We're not just stronger than they are, we're smarter, more adaptable, and more united. Most importantly, we're prepared for their attempts before they even think of making them. As night fell on the former capital of the Galactic Council, Jake stood alone in the Great Hall. He thought about all the species that had been destroyed by alien cruelty. Today their deaths had finally been avenged. Humanity had not sought this war, but they had finished it completely. The galaxy was now under human protection, and it would remain peaceful for as long as humanity had the strength to enforce that peace. The secret was out. The galaxy had learned that humanity was not a species to be underestimated. Those who threatened human freedom would face consequences beyond their imagination. The age of alien dominance was over, and the age of human guardianship had begun.